Coming up on Mountain News this morning, summer is beginning, but one staple at the Perry County Park will not be part of it. And we take you to Clay County, where one group is working on the latest of many projects to help restore pride to the community. Plus, one fire department in Pike County is taking its training abilities to the next level with the help of a new unit.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, and thank you for joining me on Mountain News This Morning. My name is Lacey Roberts, and today is Friday, June 12th. It's been a nice week outside, kind of hot, but yesterday cooled down and it was feeling great outside. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson to see what we can expect. I know, Brandon, I said I was one for hot temperatures, but after actually being out there, I think I'm moving to your side.
Listen, if we had temperatures like this, daytime highs and morning lows like this all throughout the year, I'd be happy. I mean, sunny and 75, that's the perfect forecast for me. But this morning, we're dealing with some fog, dense fog, too at that, down in the Cumberland Valley, zero visibility in Williamsburg, close to it in Harlan and Middlesboro, up toward Logan, zero visibility close to it along I-64 there at Moorhead. So again, be careful. The ridges, not seeing as much. We go up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain, and not a whole lot of issues up there. The sun already starting to come out. Sunrise was at 6:11 this morning. We'll take a look at our temperatures. Jackson up at the weather service there at the airport, basically seeing those warmer temperatures because they're climbing, they're rising, and then all the cooler temperatures have sunk down in the valleys, and you can see that there. Most of us in the low to mid 50s across the region. Your out the door forecast today, starting in the 50s, heading toward the low 80s, but the humidity levels stay away, and that trend continues all the way into the weekend. I'll have the extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. Governor Beshear announced 69 new cases of coronavirus last night in Kentucky, but he says the backlog in reporting to a federal system is likely why there is a lower number. He says it's likely we'll see more cases today that should have been reported yesterday. Right now, Kentucky is nearing 12,000 cases, and we've lost nearly 500 people with 9 more deaths since Wednesday. Several new cases were reported by health departments across eastern Kentucky yesterday, including a 6-year-old Johnson County that is asymptomatic. June 23rd, a primary election day, is quickly approaching. WYMT's Madison Pergram has more on the absentee process and what people should be looking for.
Sorting through stacks and stacks of ballots.
As of this morning, we had like 2,700 people between online and call-ins wanting absentee.
As the June 15th deadline to request an absentee ballot nears, some are wondering where and when they will receive them.
Some of our materials have been going to other counties, so we have to wait for it to get sent back to us. They should be getting them anytime. Actually, they should have already started getting them.
Michael Adams, Secretary of State, says you can always call the clerk's office to locate it.
If someone used govoteky.com, they can actually track the status of their ballot on that website. You can track your ballot the same way you track a FedEx or UPS package.
And once you get it, the steps are simple.
This is what they'll be receiving in the mail, and they'll receive a ballot. When they color it in solid like this one. Fold it up, put it back in here. And where it says sign here, you need to sign and just mail it back.
The deadline to mail the ballot back is June 23rd, Election Day.
Because the sooner we get it back, the sooner we can count it, and the sooner we'll have results for everybody.
County clerks have until June 30th, a week after the election, to report vote totals to the Secretary of State.
And I'm thinking it'd probably take that long, because you have to match the signatures, and there's just a lot to it.
So while results in this election might take a little longer, democracy is in full swing. Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
Adams says that nearly 600,000 Kentuckians have successfully requested an absentee ballot. And summer is beginning, but this year Perry County Park will look a little different. For many, the past 40 years, the pool in the park has been a main attraction, but this year the pool will not be opening. Perry County Judge Executive Scott Alexander said a lot of grandparents bring kids to the pool, and there is always a large crowd. He thinks it's too big of a risk this year to open, and he does not think they could safely follow the guidelines from the governor.
When you're running a public facility such as that pool, you know, if I choose to go to the grocery, that's choices on me. But if I open the pool, then it's my responsibility, and those parents and that's bringing their families there assume that it's safe.
He says the pool will reopen when no one will be able to be put in harm's way. And just in time for the summer months, campgrounds could reopen yesterday after being closed due to COVID-19. However, Eagles Landing Campground in Perry County did not make the list of campgrounds that reopened. County officials said the county experienced layoffs and has a limited budget this year, so they had to make cuts, leaving Eagles Landing empty this season. The county also depends on the inmate program, where inmates spend time cleaning and managing the grounds. But due to COVID-19, the inmates are not allowed. Perry County Judge Executive Scott Alexander says this was also a difficult decision.
It's really sad. We've took great pride in Eagles Landing since we've been here. And, you know, we've never faced a situation such as this pandemic, COVID-19. And it's one of the hard decisions that we had to make. But we do have to give up doing some things at this current time until employment comes back to where it was.
The judge executive says the campground will reopen next year, but he is closely watching to see what happens during the next few weeks with the pandemic and may try to open the campground later this year. The nearby Buckhorn Tailwater campground below the dam did open for the season yesterday. And working to restore pride, Project Hope in Clay County has done a handful of projects in and around Manchester, volunteering their time cleaning up and doing some remodeling. Their most recent undertaking, a basketball court. WYMT's Will Puckett has more.
From the onset, Steve Collins made his intentions clear.
I told the members of Project Hope, if we didn't do the CC and the black and gold, I wouldn't do it, period.
Steeped in mountain basketball lore, Clay County has a rich history when it comes to the hardwood, making this project that much more meaningful.
That really made it good because a lot of times I've drove by here and I've actually saw some of the previous Clay County players or some of the current ones down here actually playing.
Collins and his wife set out to overhaul this court before the coronavirus pandemic even started.
People realized what we were doing for the town, and we actually gotten a few hits on Facebook, you know, let's try to do something with the basketball courts.
So, with the help of a few others and a generous business owner, this idea became reality.
We did have to spend a little time on that, figuring what we thought would be the best to use for durance and what would be a better quality to use. We had to make sure we didn't use anything that would be slick or dangerous in that way, because we didn't want somebody to get there and slip and fall and break an ankle or an arm.
While restoring pride in a town and county, this improved court is also somewhere for kids to come in the summer and play ball.
It's obviously not going to make the kids play any better basketball, but it does look better. And it is a really nice view when people drive by, even if they're from here or they're from out of town. It's just something nice to look at when they drive by.
Hoping this is a small part of a larger resurgence piloted by people who just want to see their home grow. In Clay County, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
The school district has vowed to put up 2 LED lights and foot the electric bill. Pikeville's fire department added a new training unit to its facility, giving it the capability to train in an active fire situation. The 3-unit structure will provide a hands-on firefighting experience, which officials say will more adequately prepare the first responders for answering a call. But it is not only about training to put out the fire, it's about the situational advantages that come with the burn unit.
Our firefighters are going to be able to train on fire hose advancement, search and rescue techniques. Hopefully, we're going to apply later down the road for more props to be able to add it on to it.
Case says other departments and the county will also be training there. And as the relationship between many police officers and departments and the communities they serve has reached a breaking point after the death of George Floyd, deputies in Logan County are working hard to improve that relationship, changing one boy's life in the process. 12-year-old Jordan Griffin says he now wants to be a police officer when he grows up after his interaction while getting lunch with his grandparents earlier this week. The design on Lieutenant Brian Cobb's car caught his eye and led to an entire tour, plus a conversation about the role of a prevention resource officer.
I want to make a difference, and once you change a kid's life, and once you know that you made an impact on somebody, it's a lasting impression forever.
Logan now has 6 of these officers that are placed at schools around the county for education and community building. The deputies encourage anyone to stop them and have a conversation about their role in the community.
Time now for our last daily Helpers and Heroes segment of the week, where we highlight those frontline folks like those Logan deputies and other folks across the region who are doing their part during this COVID-19 pandemic. Let's go to our first picture this morning, and that comes to us from Joanne. This is her husband, Gregory Combs. Gregory's a little bit different from the folks we've been usually featuring on this segment, but he's still serving an essential function by helping out his community by making runs to the store and pharmacy for those who are most at risk, like the elderly, so they don't have to get out. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, Gregory, for going above and beyond for those who depend on you. Our next picture was submitted by Nancy. This is Dr. Sire, Dr. Music, and all the fine folks at Highland Vet Clinic in Johnson County. Nancy says their work with rescues and pet emergency calls have not stopped during this pandemic, no matter the time of day or night. As an owner of a 4-legged fur baby that's had to have emergency care, we dog parents definitely appreciate those who keep them well. And finally, our last picture today comes to us from Brenda. These are some of the heroes in the city of Pikeville. Represented in this picture are members of the police and fire departments, along with EMS. Thank you for all those first responders and all those across the region who respond during a crisis, health-related or not. All right, so I've been told we're going to continue this segment through the end of the month, so you got some more time to get your helpers and heroes submitted to us. We can get those on the air and showcase all those fine folks from across the region. You can do that one of 2 ways. You go to our website, WYMT.com. On the drop-down menu on the left side of the screen, you can click on the Helpers and Heroes page, or you can send me a message on my Facebook page, Brandon Robinson, WYMT. You can send me those pictures, and we'll get them on the air for you as soon as we can. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining us. We'll be right back with more Mountain News this morning.